we have one of our affiliate members, Beata Daly from Green Terra Disposal, and she's going to take a couple minutes to let you know about their business. Thank you. Thanks, Beata.
All right, let me just share my presentation. All right, hi everyone. My name is Beata Daly and I'm with Green Terra Disposal. We are family-owned business. My husband and I, we run our rental dumpster rental company. We are local. My office is in Doylestown, and my yard, I have 2 yards. One is in Chalfont and one is in Sellersville. We have a couple of different sizes of dumpsters and really can accommodate any project you or your customers might have. You on a daily basis deal with homeowners who are getting ready to move, to sell their house or to downsize. And renting a dumpster is really the best and most efficient way to quickly get rid of all the stuff people don't want to take with them to the new houses. So if your homeowner needs to clean out the shed, a storage area or basement, or get rid of all the stuff from the attic, that would be a great referral for us. We can also provide a dumpster for yard clean out to make sure that the house has a nice curb appeal. Green Terra Disposal is an environmentally friendly dumpster rental service. We don't go to the landfill. Instead, we take our stuff to transfer station where stuff is sorted and further recycled. We strive to provide an exceptional customer service, and I encourage you to check us out on Google and read the reviews from our customers, because I want you to feel confident when referring us to the homeowners, as I understand it reflects on you as well. Our tagline is dumpster rental made easy, and we strive to deliver on this promise. So I would like to thank you for having me here and letting me tell you a little bit about our business. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me. I would love to help you and your customers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your affiliate membership. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. Today's speaker, Adam Boxman, brings over 18 years of real estate experience with over 400 buyer side clients served. Adam's client experience seeing an average of 4.5 homes and writing an average of 1.4 offers. And 90% of his current business is repeat business and past client referrals. He is a partner of the Hometown Real Estate Network in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Let's give an epic welcome to Adam. Thanks, Adam.
Don't start good if you're muted. That doesn't start good at all. Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you, Lisa, and the entire Bucks County Association of Realtors for trusting me with such an important topic in our industry today. For the better part of a year, I have traveled the country and shared this message across the country, all the way from hometown of Bucks County, all the way to Honolulu, Hawaii. And I can tell you that the message of our value as buyer representatives is a critical message that we need to be talking about anywhere in the country. And so I really appreciate you guys honoring me and trusting me with such an important message. Working with buyers is really hard. It can be time consuming, it can be difficult, it can be frustrating, but it also, if you do it right and you do it effectively and efficiently, it's become my passion. For many years. I see a lot of people in this room who saw me when I was just getting started 18 years ago. And it's absolutely my passion, and I love it. But I love it because I don't miss moments of my life. And because I found a way to do it effectively and efficiently, that I do it and love my life. And I am so excited to share with you all a path that we can get there where we can actually enjoy our lives and working with buyers. So we're not missing those moments of our life that we shouldn't miss. Moments happen in our lives that we don't forget. First kisses. We don't forget first kisses. We don't forget when we graduate high school. We don't forget when we graduate college. We don't forget all of these big moments. We don't forget to get engaged. We don't forget our wedding days and our kids and grandkids. We also don't forget when we move into a new home. We don't forget buying a home, especially our first house, but not just our first house. You don't forget any one of your moves. Life is full of those moments. People don't forget those moves in their lives. Here's the best part. Everybody here has chosen to be in a profession where we get to put ourselves front and center as guides for these people during the biggest moments of their entire life. Some of the biggest moments. Like, how awesome is that we get to be a part of every one of these people's big moments in their lives? And the question is, what makes us not have to fight for our business in the future? I've learned, in my opinion, that referrals come from buyers. After 18 years of working in real estate and working specifically only with buyers for the last 13 years, or predominantly with buyers, I believe referrals come from buyers. And I know we talk about listings last, and I think listings are obviously critically important in our business. But if you want to build a business where you're not fighting for every opportunity, I think the opportunity is working with buyers and maximizing each and every opportunity to help a buyer. And if you think about it, why do you refer somebody? What makes you refer somebody in your life, regardless of what it is, whether it's restaurants or any sort of thing, electricians, plumbers, like what makes you go, I have to refer that person, not just when somebody asks for a referral, but that you have to do it. Because I think that's what makes cheerleaders. And I think the buyers, because of the emotional experience of buying your house, is one of those opportunities. Each and every opportunity is an opportunity to create a cheerleader that makes you not have to fight for business in your career. And I've been blessed by working with buyers to build a career that I love, I'm proud of, but also I love my life. So that's a huge part of this. The question is, how are your clients going to feel after working with you? How are they going to feel after working with you? There's only really 3 options on how they're going to feel, but I want to talk about how they feel, and somebody way smarter than me has a quote that I want to share with all of you to get us started. So give me 1 second. We're going to pull up the PowerPoint. Lisa, everybody see this? Yes? Are we good?
Yes, we can see it.
Many, many years ago, Maya Angelou said, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. The question is, how are your clients going to feel? How do they feel at the end of working with you as home buyers? If we agree that these experiences are going to drive our future business, and by giving them the best possible experience can drive our referrals, how do your clients feel after working with you? So we're going to go through that. The first thing I want to talk about is an easy one. The awful experience. We obviously know our clients. We don't want our clients to feel awful after working with us. I'm going to tell you a personal story about that. Adam and Jackie Boxman were a young couple, just got married in 2005, and we decided we were going to buy our first house. We got our jobs. We were ready to go. We had saved up our money, and we wanted to buy our first house. And we were excited and energized and nervous as hell. No idea what we were doing. And what did? We did what most buyers do. We go online, we find a house, and we meet a perfectly random stranger at a house. And from that moment on, Adam and Jackie Boxman became a transaction. We became a dollar sign. And from that moment on, all we felt was the pressure of getting a deal done for that agent so that he can make his money and move on past us. I'm pretty sure all of us do not want our clients to have awful experiences. It's actually part of what drove me to get into real estate, but I'm sure we all don't want to drive people to get into real estate with an awful experience. So I'm pretty sure we're all going to agree that an awful experience is not acceptable. The problem is we think that's the end of it. The forgettable experience is just as bad as the awful experience in our world. The way I'll describe the forgettable experience is that you're meeting with a buyer who bought a home 7 or 10 years ago, and you're comfortable enough because they're hiring you, and you ask them, oh, so who helped you buy your home before. And they don't remember the name of the person that helped them buy their first house. They remember the company sometimes, but they don't remember the name of the person that helped them buy their house. If we think that that person doesn't remember buying their house, that's not true. They remember the day they moved in. They remember everything that happened on the day they moved in, and they remember everything that happened in those days leading up to moving into that house. But somehow they don't remember the name of the person that helped them buy their house. Those agents that are working with their clients creating forgettable experiences are going to be fighting for business for the rest of their career. So in my mind, there's really only one other option for us. If you're committed to making sure you don't want to fight for business, you want to build cheerleaders and referrals for life, I believe you have to have a mindset of creating the most epic experience you can for every buyer that you're working for. Here's the thing, though. We got to define epic, because I'm just saying epic and I haven't defined it for all of you. So what I want to do is take a second, and I'd like everybody to think of one story or moment in your life that equates to something epic, something that you would say is epic in your life. What I want to do is then tell you what I believe epic is. I'm going to give you 3 definitions or 3 breakdowns of what I think defines epic. And my hope is that the end of me giving you those definitions is that each of you still believes that your story is epic. And eventually, when I get to meet everybody, the people that I haven't met, I want to hear your epic stories, and I got plenty of epic stories myself to share with you. So take a moment and just think about something epic. All right. Let's get to it. The first thing that I think something has to be epic to make something epic is that the experience has to be unforgettable. It has to be so memorable that it's implanted in their brain and they just can never forget it. They're not thinking about who the name of the person is. They know the name of their person. They know the name of the person that provided them that epic experience, and they're never going to forget it. But here's the thing. Adam and Jackie Boxman had a pretty awful experience that we're never going to forget. So epic can't simply be unforgettable. Epic, it also must make you smile. An epic moment, an epic story must make you smile uncontrollably. Thinking about a few myself right now. I hope you guys all are also, and I hope everybody's smiling, because if you're smiling, it means we're still going on and your story's still epic. The next thing, an epic story is a story you have to tell everybody. Not that you want to tell everybody. You got no choice. You have no choice but to tell everybody. This is where the referral comes from in our world. This is where the active referral comes from in our world. So the question is, why in the world are all buyers not having epic experiences? And when I say epic experiences, I'm not talking about some mind-blowing, expensive thing that makes people remember you. I'm talking about a mindset that says, how do I make it so that they never forget me, that they smile when they think about me, and more importantly, they want to tell everybody about the experience of working with me. If you think about the last 2 years, there's a lot of opportunity for some epic stories of working with buyers and winning in a really difficult market. This is what creates cheerleaders for the future. I have an opinion about this, though. I believe there are 2 reasons why buyers aren't having epic experiences right now. The first is we can blame the buyer a little bit. The consumer is Zillow-fied. They're online, they have access to all the information, and they want to go see the house. We see it all the time. The buyer that just wants to go see the house. The problem is the buyer doesn't know what they're getting themselves into most of the time. Either they've never done it or they haven't done it for a decade. So they're getting into what could be a very frustrating, difficult process, and they're starting it by meeting a total stranger and expecting to have the best possible experience from it. What percentage of experiences are going to come out epic by starting that way? So let's put aside the buyer and take responsibility for our actions and what we do and how we work. We meet people at homes, we act as door openers, and we give buyers the opportunity to control the process from the moment they start working with us. But then we expect them to start doing what we want them to do to give them the best possible experience. There's no other profession on earth that starts working for people without actually having a plan. So what does it lead to? Well, it leads to the same frustrating things for both buyer and realtor. The same things I hear from agents talking about working with buyers and sometimes a lack of love of working with buyers. And we hear it from the buyer who had a horrible experience, but wonders why they had a horrible experience having met a total stranger at a home to open a door. And what does it lead to? It leads to the same thing we all deal with: unrealistic expectations, unsuccessful offers, a lack of trust, massive commitment issues on both sides of the table, both buyer, all these things are things that we both deal with. My buyers have unrealistic expectations. They write unsuccessful offers. They don't trust me and I don't trust them. They're not committed to me and I'm not committed to them. But it's so much more than that. When I started working with buyers, I can't believe there's some people here who were there with me. I got the chance to hear some really smart people talk about working with buyers, but I had the wrong focus. I tried to work with as many buyers as I could. What I didn't focus on, what was that going to do in my life? How was that going to affect my life? 5 years after focusing on who was doing the most deals, many of those agents doing the most deals are not in the business any longer. We're not in the business. Why? Because it burned them out. Because their time was running around ineffectively and inefficiently to make money, but not actually loving their life. So let's get to that. I'm going to get a little personal with all of you, if you don't mind, because I'm an open book, as many of you know. Right there is a picture of the best day of my life. It's a picture of my mom and me, and it was, in my opinion, the best day of her life. I say that as the middle of 3 boys, that I'm just going to say that was the best day of her life. She also got the chance to watch her son marry a girl that he had been dating since she was 16. So for 9 years, this girl was the only girl in the house. Every night, home for dinner. Every night, the female companion my mom needed with the 4 boys beating up everybody at each other and fighting all the time. So she was watching her son marry the only daughter she had ever had in her life. 3 months after this picture, we were at her funeral. Every moment matters. Every single moment in our lives has to matter. Nothing is guaranteed. So what I want to talk about today is how we can not just work with as many buyers as we can, but can we do it in a way where we enjoy our lives? Can we do it in a way where we don't miss the moments? So let's talk about those moments that I'm not going to miss, that I know that I'm not going to miss now. It's really unfortunate that we have to have those moments that remind us that nothing's guaranteed. But these are the moments that I remember and think about as the moments that I'm not going to miss, and I'm not going to regret ever missing. This is about 3 minutes after parasailing, and this is my wife, my high school sweetheart, Jackie, my daughters, Brianna and Grace. Yes, I grew up in a house with all boys, and I have 2 daughters now, and trying to figure out how to be a girl dad. These are the moments I'm not going to miss. If I'm going to be working, then I'm going to work in every aspect of my business as effectively and efficiently as I can, so I can actually get back to where I want to be. For me, it's these people. You guys all hopefully have something in your lives that make you want to get back to it. Let's do it in a way where we can actually enjoy our lives. So how are we going to turn unrealistic expectations into realistic expectations? How are we going to turn unsuccessful offers into successful offers? How are we going to get trust when there is no trust? How are we going to get commitment when there is no commitment? And most importantly, how are we going to get our time back so we're not burned out and get out of this business, even if we're being successful? It's the same thing we tell our children. It's the same thing we do with every other thing we do in our lives to solve our problems. We need a plan. In our world, a plan has always been called a consultation. The difficulty is, I think there's been so much put into, in our profession, the listing presentation that you need to practice and prepare and be ready for. And everybody needs to have a calculated, practiced, prepared listing consultation. But when it comes to meeting with buyers, we feel like getting a name, an email address, a phone number, and a criteria is the best way to get us all of the results that we want to get out of these meetings. I talk to buyers all the time, buyer agents all the time, about their frustrations of working with buyers. And many of them tell me they do a consultation. The difficulty is their consultation isn't prepared. It isn't practiced. It isn't calculated. It isn't outlined. It's a willy-nilly conversation that leads to results that don't get us anywhere. Here's how I want to look at our consultations. They need to be a show. They need to be a show that you can do in your sleep. If you can do it in your sleep, you can actually listen to the people that are in front of you. It's weird. When we talk to people, when we have conversations with people, it's really amazing when you think about, if you think about the conversations you have with people, the majority of the time when you're having a conversation with somebody, you're thinking about what you're going to say next. You're not hearing what they're saying. You're not understanding who the person is in front of you, and you're definitely not catching the things you need to hear about them to most impact them, to most influence them, to provide them the experience that's going to guide them through the most expensive thing they may ever buy in their life. So what we're going to talk about in the next session is a properly prepared practice consultation that you're going to create for yourselves. Because your show is your show. If you do my consultation, it ain't going to sound right. It's not going to make sense. Just like if you go see Hamilton and they try and get up and do a whole nother show, it isn't going to come off right. Even if they know all the script, it isn't going to come off right. So what we're going to do is work on how we're going to create our own foundation for a consultation, our own foundation for a message that's at the end of it is going to lead to all the results that we need to that we get to. And what are those results? Let's talk about those results. When we set an appointment with a new client for a consultation, there are 6 things we're going to get out of that every single time. And our practice prepared consultation and what we're going to say and how we're going to say it is going to lead to all of these results. We're going to start by getting to know our clients first. We are not going to get to know people by meeting them in a home simply because we opened a door to a house. And guess what? They're not going to get to know you. So we're going to take the time and we're going to make sure that our clients get to know us, and we're going to get to know them because every one of our clients is different. We're going to learn how each one of our clients is different. We're going to set expectations in these meetings. We're going to let our clients know what's in front of them. So when it happens, we're reviewing what they've already heard is going to happen. There's nothing worse than dealing with a situation under pressure for the first time, having no understanding of what is about to happen. It leads to all of the things we're frustrated with. So we're going to set expectations in our meetings with our buyers. And we're going to then create win-win scenarios across the board. We're going to create scenarios that are in the best interest of our clients to give them the best possible experience for the best results. We're also going to do each of those things for our own benefit so that we actually enjoy our life working for buyers. We're going to build trust with our buyers, and they're going to trust us. Most importantly, We're going to get commitment from the people that we're working for. We're going to stop working for people that aren't committed to us. We're going to get written agreements with our clients, just like every other profession does. Just like you do when you list a home. When we list a home, we don't just take a phone call, start working for people with no agreement. We're going to get that agreement every time. And then we're going to start making it epic. The idea of this meeting is when we leave this meeting, we have built a rock solid foundation for a lifetime relationship with people that are going to want to be your cheerleaders, because from the moment you started with them, you have put them first and foremost, and you have made their experience as best as possible. And that's what we're going to do. But how are we going to do it? How are we going to turn these bad experiences into great experiences for our clients? Well, we're going to have to persuade them. We're going to have to influence them. We're going to have to make sure that they start this path and take that first step properly. So how are we going to do that? Well, someone much smarter than me, a year ago, I heard someone way smarter than me say something that I want to share with you that I think will help us understand what this all is about. Ed Milet said, most people believe that you have to convince somebody to believe something you're saying for you to influence them. The truth is, people need to believe that you believe in what you're saying in order for you to be influenced by them. Or sorry, in order for them to be influenced by you. In order for them to be persuaded by you. People need to believe in what you're saying. The difficulty is, if you're not committed from the very moment in the beginning of these conversations, if you are not 100% committed to the consultation being the most important thing for that person, then they're not going to believe it either. So what we're going to do in the next session, when we schedule the next session, which I know Lisa's going to work on with everybody, I want to share with you my consultation in the next session. I want to break down every step of the consultation, every step of the conversation from before we meet with the consumer to what we do after the meeting to ensure that we're starting this, giving them the best possible outcome, the best possible chance of having an epic experience for both them and for us. That's what I got for you. So I have a bunch of free materials that I'm going to be sharing with everybody. I know we went a little bit fast. It was like I moved through that. It went a little bit fast. But the next part of this is the real true foundation of what we're going to talk about, which is going to be the consultation itself. What I can do now is spend all the time that you guys need to sort of answer any questions about anything that you have questions about with leading up to that. And if it's a question about the specific consultation itself, that's what we're going to be doing when we schedule the next session in, I don't know exactly when we're doing that just yet. In the meantime, though, I am going to share with everybody all the materials that will help you start to build your foundation for your consultation. So if you click on the QR code that's on the screen, nothing's going to be sold. There is nothing sold. Everything is going to be given to you so that you can start to create your own consultations and start to work with your buyers. And hopefully between now and when we do the next session, you started to use some of it, and I can show you step by step how I do it. I'm seeing some of my mentors right now in this thing, so it's pretty amazing to see all of you. If you have questions, all you got to do is ask. Let's go. No questions? There can't be no questions. I have no questions. Lisa, I don't know. Did I do okay? I guess there's no questions. I went really fast and there's no questions.
I think we're waiting on your presentation, which is
I do want to say something. I could probably say something to this. The conversation we just had and the conversation we're going to have in the future, we're not going to talk about how we're doing lead conversion. I do want to say that. There is a lot of work that goes into people meeting with us and the conversations that we have to have that lead people from the idea of seeing the home into the idea of actually seeing and meeting us first before they just start going and seeing homes. That's a class that I still keep taking because I still need to get better and better and better at those language of sales conversations, those conversations that have people realizing that they shouldn't be just meeting people at homes. It's not going to give them the best experience. There's some books about that. There's a book called Exactly What to Say by Phil M. Jones. It's a great book on how to have good conversations, but I'm here. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm here as long as you guys need me. And yeah, I'd love to go.
I have a question, Adam.
What's the name? Who is
Jamie,
it? Sorry.
Jamie Lemberg. Sorry.
Hey, Jamie.
So I'm sure there's lots of scripts. You're educating yourself every day, just like we will have to. Wondering if you could share at least one conversation or script that you use when you meet someone at an open house and
Yeah.
you follow up, for example, and you tell them, that you'd love to engage with them and help them find something else or follow up about this house. But how do you get them to come in for the consult?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been successful at it and unsuccessful at it, and I'm just wondering how that transition is best accomplished for you so far.
All right. So let's start with the first thing has been solved for me almost. For going on 10 years, I was doing all my buyer consults during the week in the evening in the office. I'd have to schedule where people would have to go home. They'd have to get dressed, get changed, eat dinner, and then drive all the way to my office to meet with me in my office 6 o'clock at night, 6:30 at night, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays. But most of these meetings for many, many years, people had to leave their home to come meet with me. Zoom comes into our world. And for the last 2.5 years, almost all of these meetings that I've been doing with my clients are all done exactly as we're doing this today on Zoom. So the idea of them even having to come meet with me to increase my, what we call it, my set to met ratio, meaning I've set the appointment and they're actually coming to meet with me, was dramatically increased with nothing other than Zoom adding into our world. So that's a starting point. And to be honest with you, I have a little bit of a dream of making listing agents jealous about the time that I'm spending with my clients, as opposed to a listing agent who has to go to the home, do a listing appointment, go through an entire process that's 3 or 4 hours long, and then come home, whereas I do all my appointments on Zoom and I don't even have to leave my house to do those appointments. And if I save my time properly in the showings themselves, and we're going to talk about how we make sure we show less homes, then I'm going to, at the end of the day, spend less time with buyers than a listing agent would, but with clients. Now, in terms of conversations, the simplest way I can put it is you need to ask a series of questions that only not smart people would say no to. Like the first question, hey, do you want to make sure you have the best experience buying the most expensive thing you ever bought in your entire life? No one says no to that. Do you want to make sure you can trust the person that's representing you in this big, huge purchase? Nobody says no to that. You go through a series of those questions, and at the end of it, you go, well, that sounds great, because what I'd like to do is make sure you're not wasting time working with someone you can't trust. Why don't we schedule an hour meeting on Zoom tonight, and we'll talk about everything and get to know each other, and I can make sure you're not wasting your time or buying the wrong house. It's not hard for them to do a Zoom call with me for an hour. I hope that answered it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Did that answer it, Jamie?
It did. Thank you.
There's a lot more. I mean, we all know this. We're all in real estate. There's scripts and dialogues and all those things. They have to be internalized. Everybody has these boards in front of them and scripts in front of them. In reality, just like the consultation, it needs to be internalized to the point where you can actually hear that what the person's pain points are, what's making them, what are the things that are going to make them have the most epic experience? Because my epic experience is different than yours and anybody else's. So each person, when we talk about epic experience, it's the opposite of buying the set of knives at settlement for every single client. It's actually getting to know that client and how you're going to affect that client's experience so that they refer you for the future. So it's not a set conversation. It's a set list of questions. that I need to get way better at. And there's some members of my team here that are probably like, Adam has to make a lot of phone calls. I have to make a lot more phone calls than most people to get the types of appointments I want to get, because I still need to get better at those language of sales and asking questions. And if anybody knows me, I tend to try and tell people what to do instead of asking what's going to impact them. So you got to be vulnerable sometimes. This is not perfect. I have not created an experience that I say every single time I only show 4.5 homes or write 1.4 offers. But because I've tracked every number for the last 13 years, if I know I want to work with buyers effectively and efficiently, right? And I know I don't want to waste my time away from my family, then I better make sure that each step of the way, I'm working effectively and efficiently in the process. So what are those things in working with buyers that makes you work ineffectively? Well, you're showing too many homes. That's the number one thing. But most people don't track how many homes they show per buyer. I don't know how many people can sit down after 13 years and go, how many homes did you show on average, all of your buyers? Because of some very smart people, I was told I needed to do that. So I started tracking 13 years, 4.5 homes, because I was trying to find a way. How do I show not eight homes, maybe 7, maybe 6? Or when I'm writing offers, how can I make sure that I'm writing offers that are effective and efficient and likely going to win? I have to make sure my clients know what that looks like. All of these things that are going to allow me to make sure that I love my life and work with buyers.
So, Adam, got a question for you.
All the way in Colorado, Jason K, by the way. What's up, Jason?
So we used to role play eons ago together.
He was there in in the 13 years ago, Jason was, for all you guys to know. Go ahead.
And what's the biggest thing that has changed other than Zoom in what you've been doing since then?
It's easy. The consumer has access to every piece of information that we have. Every year that goes by, our value as real estate professionals working with buyers is so much less finding the properties and so much more being there as our clients' advocates when they find the properties. Our jobs, if we think that our jobs are finding properties for our clients, we are sorely mistaken. We have no access to, we have access to the information. We do not control the information. The question is, what's the buyer going to do when they get the information? Are they going to meet a door opener, or are they going to meet somebody who's going to take that house and help them through it and give them the best experience? When you and I were script practicing, man, I don't even know, 13 years ago, when I started doing this, the conversation, we still had access to the information. So we were saying, I'm going to get you a list of homes. You're not going to know about the homes faster than me. We don't know about the homes faster than our clients anymore.
Cool. Thank you.
There's a couple things in the chat. Adam, let me see.
If someone wants to, if they want to call out an answer or two, if they speak up, or you can read them up, whatever you need.
Lisa, I also have a question for Adam, if you wanted, if I could.
Yeah,
What's
sure,
up, Zach?
Absolutely.
Adam, how are you? It's been a while.
There's another name from the past. What's up, Zach?
I'm doing well. I was when I first started out, I don't know, over 3 years ago now, you were one of the first Zoom things that I did for buyer training. And it's only gotten a little bit more concise from you. So I'm interested and excited to see the next stage, to see how your buyer consult actually is structured. Beside that, with the last 3 years getting crazier and crazier for buyers. Now, obviously, it's not 2021 anymore, so we're not seeing 100,000 over asking. We're seeing 25,000 over asking.
Yep.
I find that being the hardest thing for me to articulate to my buyers. I think a lot of buyers are requiring to, they might write an offer and it has full inspections and there's 5 other offers on the table, and you already know that that offer is not going to get accepted based on the terms. And some buyers need to maybe lose an offer or two in order to kind of learn what's going on. But how have you kind of dealt with that and I guess remain positive and keep your goals the same despite an ever difficult buyer's market when you're working exclusively or almost exclusively with buyers?
Yeah. So what I want to tell you is this. First of all, you got to come to the next session, because when I break down the consultation itself, we're going to talk about how we talk to the buyer when they write an offer, how we discuss every step of the market so that they write the most effective offers every single time. And so that when I say I write 1.4 offers, it's that when you have a conversation with your client in the very beginning, and then you're at the point of dealing with the most stressful moment of their entire life financially, they're reviewing what you've already told them is going to happen and what they're going to likely need to do. And so they do it because they trust you to do it. When we do the next class, I'll be giving you exact scripts and things that I say that make sure at the end of the day, whether they get the house or don't get the house in those offers, that I'm still their guide, that they're never going to use somebody else, because regardless of the outcome, perfect example, epic experiences are not always perfect. In fact, if you watch like I think of superhero movies sometimes and about epic, right? Well, a superhero movie has way ups and downs. There are plenty of way downs in the epic movie, superhero movies. But at the end of the day, who's the superhero? The person that helped them through all of those. So it's making sure your clients don't think that you're the reason that they didn't win when they don't win. The next thing, I don't want to give away everything. This consultation is not meant for just this market. In fact, you have to do it in every market, because if inventory is down to a point like we're in desert right now, you still want to make sure you're not showing wasted homes, and you want to make sure for sure when you're writing offers that they're super competitive in that market. Well, let's say the market shifts many moons from now, and we have over inventory. We're still going to need to make sure our clients aren't seeing the wrong homes when there's a million homes out there. So in any market, this consultation is going to set us off. And we're also going to get into, by the way, 20 and 21 were my best years in real estate when we were shut down for what, 4 months? And I'm really comfortable and happy to say that a lot of it has to do with the relationships we have with other realtors in our community, in our business, in our sandbox. And I hope so. I hope that everybody here, because we are in my sandbox right now in Bucks County doing this. But I got a lot of business done because of the fact that I was presenting buyers who may not have even been the best offer, but when the listing agents are sitting down with the sellers and saying, we want to make sure you're settling in the best possible way for you, and we have these offers, these other buyers might present an offer that could beat another offer. And I was winning offers just because my clients were well prepared and well organized. And I think what happens is you write an offer where you're the best offer and you think that's great. But if it's not written perfectly, organized, detailed, if it's not making the listing agent hit the easy button, you're going to go from being the best offer to the fifth offer, and the third offer who did present it organized and may not have been the best number is going to be me. So don't be the one that lost the house. Be the person in the sandbox everybody wants to work with. And you already are, brother. I know that already because I know you, man.
Thanks for the insight, Adam. Looking forward to the next
problem,
Zoom here.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, Scott Geller, are you still on, Scott?
Yeah, he's there. Hey,
Yeah,
Scott.
hi, Scott. I see you had a question, and then it looks like you put some resources in. Did you want to unmute to discuss that? Did you have a question? Do you use this or something similar for your Zoom consult?
He's good. He unmuted. Go ahead, Scott. What do you
got? You were talking about the Zoom consult, and yeah, my only question there was I use Read AI with it. I didn't know if you use some kind of AI program along or whatever.
I don't. It's as simple as it gets. Me and the clients on Zoom.
Well, yeah. So Read AI, I've found it phenomenal for many reasons, probably legal. It recaps everything that you've said in your consult.
Yes.
Puts it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing how it recaps it, everything that you discussed, categories, things like that. And then it also has a coaching program where you can basically tell you how much time you spent talking versus them, what your engagement was, things like that. So
did you put that in the resource? Did you put that? Can you put that in the resource? Because I have not used that. It's ironic because I have a coaching program. Like I'm coached. I have a coach. I think we all should have coaches at some point. And every time I have a coaching, I get that readout that you're talking about. But I think he uses a different system. But I'll tell you what, that's a great thing that I have not done. And this is why we're all doing this, because my goal is to build a community where we're all working together, not just Adam telling everybody. So I really appreciate you doing that, because I think that actually be an amazing resource to send to our buyers after it to say, here's a recap of what we discussed.
Yeah, like I said, you can coach yourself if you're kind of nervous or whatever. It tells you how much you actually looked at them, how much they engaged. I think it registers smiles too. It's crazy, the AI. But I just didn't know if anybody had any other programs similar to that, because this is the only one I've ever tried.
You know what? The funny thing about that is when you think about the AI of that, like that's going to help us with our database like immensely. So if I think about this, one of the things I try to teach is when you're having these meetings, you're taking immense notes about everything that you can about that client, their favorite sports team for all I care, right? Because when the moments come along in their life, when it's their birthdays or this, you can actually impact them because you know them. And so I would like having a readout of the entire conversation that I can look back at and go, what were their kids' names? What were the things that I maybe didn't get? One of the things we talk about at the end of the next class is building your database so you actually have the information you need to build relationships with people. And I think that's like a no-brainer. Actually, even better, if you don't mind. So I'm not selling anything, I promise. After doing the seminar across the country, all virtually and in person, I started to realize that there is a hunger for getting information from people who specializes in different areas. And I didn't have enough on my plate, apparently. So I decided to start a monthly mastermind group for any agent, any business, any company. And we meet virtually once a month. Doesn't cost any money. You just have to say you want to be in and you get invited every month. And every month I bring someone who is amazingly talented at one area of something in our business that has found success that I think should be shared with everybody. So last month we had a woman, her name is Sheena Sadam. She's built an entire real estate business on philanthropy and has built like the most proud business I've ever seen, the biggest team in DC just on philanthropy. Next month, and the reason why I'm bringing that up because you said that, is that gentleman who happens to be my coach is going to be doing a session on AI in real estate. But the key is that we all think AI is going to be replacing us. And in reality, I think the message like you just totally gave us is that AI is actually going to only replace the agents that are not using AI. You're going to be replaced if you're not using it, not by AI itself. So I'm going to get everybody an invitation to this. If you want to join, it's up to you. Like I said, it's come and go as you please every month. But it's just another way to build a community where we're actually working together instead of fighting each other, because there's a lot of business for all of us, plenty of business for all of us. Thank you, Scott. No more questions? I'm going to put back up my, here's what I'm going to pull back up the QR code, because if you go to this and just give me some feedback, a little bit of feedback on the message, if you feel great about it, I'm going to send everybody all the materials and an invitation to the mastermind session if you guys want an invite. If you don't, you don't have to. It's up to you.
Adam, will you be sending, you'll send us the materials and we can send it to all of our members? Because
that's correct. I'll send everything to Lisa.
Okay.
And then Lisa will get the materials out to everybody. And I will also make sure that you get an invitation. All you got to do is go ahead and register.
And Adam, a couple people said they could not open up your presentation. Two
What do you mean
people,
open
I guess
up the
they tried on
presentation?
your QR code. They tried and they couldn't.
How about this? My phone number, my email address is there. If there's a few people that haven't gotten it, I'll email it separately, but I tested it. It's been, is there anybody that has worked? It works because it's worked in, I don't know, 100 times so far.
It worked for me. Hi, it's Anne Marie. It worked for me. I went in and the QR code came up, and the QR code is basically taking you to a Google form to ask for the materials.
That's correct. You have to, fill out the information so I can send the materials to you. Yes.
Yep, it's working.
I think you have to wait a minute. It didn't pop up right away for me, but if you just be a little patient, it'll pop up.
I'll leave it up there. Again, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. I'm leaving my phone number and my email address. So if you really want it, I'm like I said, this is kind of my hometown. I'm like it's a home game for me. So I'm here. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to get anybody anything they need.
And Yolamar Lopez put the actual, well, I think Scott did it as well, the site for Read AI. It's in the chat.
The only thing I want to say also is that this message is meant for any agent anywhere. So if you want me to share this message with your agents or any way, you just got to reach out to me. I'm kind of still working with my buyers. I love my buyers, but this is something that has become a massive passion for me to get this message out all over the country.
Thank you so much, Adam. We really appreciate this. It's been fantastic. You and I will work together to schedule the next session. Because this is a very heavy CE cycle, it might not be until end of May, June. So just everyone hold on, because we've got to make sure everyone gets their CE done before we can continue. But yeah, feel free to reach out to Adam. We'll be sending this recording as well as the materials that Adam gives us. And we really appreciate you coming and speaking to our members, Adam.